What is going on, guys? Welcome to Gregulous TV. We have the Pixel 7 Pro here, and we're going to go through the first things to do on this phone. So let's jump into it. First thing you want to do is press and hold on a blank spot on your home page, and you can go into Wallpaper and Style. So this is going to be where you can change your wallpaper. You can get all kinds of different wallpapers in here that you can download. These are all free. You can choose solid colors if you want, or you can choose between like a picture of some sort, maybe like a landscape. And within here, you choose the wallpaper you want. You're like, you know what? I really like this one. And then it downloads for a second. Once it's done, you can do it to the home screen or lock screen or both. Just press that checkbox right there. You can also zoom in to say maybe you want it to be like that instead, and not the mountain so much. So you can do that as well. Once you're done, just hit the checkbox. Now, while we're still under Wallpaper and Style, you'll also see wallpaper colors and basic colors. When you click on these, right now you can see my toggles look like that. But if I come in here and I press that, now they're gonna be a different color. So basically these are gonna match whatever your wallpaper is set to, be kind of more muted colors or colors that offset it. But ultimately you can choose and ultimately decide what you want. So very, very cool with that. Also, you can theme your icons too if you want them to be that specific color. So you can turn that on or off. It is in beta, just FYI. And your app grid, you can change it to be more apps on the screen or less apps. It all depends on what you want. If you want to be really, really big, you have that option as well. I think somewhere in the middle is pretty good, 4x5. Next, press and hold on a blank spot. Go into widgets this time. If you want to add a widget, choose the widget that you want. Maybe you want this battery widget. Just press and hold on it, drag it to where you want, and it will be set for there. You can even make it bigger or smaller just by pressing and holding on it, and it will adjust in size depending upon how big you want it. Once you're done, just let go. You can also drag it around if you want it in a different spot. So there you go. That's how you do widgets. Press and hold again on the blank spot. Go to Home Settings. And if you want your notifications to not show any dots next to them, meaning like when you get in some of these apps, if you get a notification, it'll be a little dot next to it. So you can turn that on or off right there under Home Settings. At a glance, so you can see you can have it turn on or off or customize, and it can show different information such as your commute, time to leave. You can turn some of these things off or on, but ultimately it's this thing right here. It's going to change and show information as it gathers information depending upon if your calendar's hooked up to it or the weather or your work commute and things like that. Swipe to access Google app. That is this. If you don't want to see this at all, you can turn that off. Just go into Home Settings and under Swipe to access Google app, you can turn that off. You can see now I can't access it. I like having it there, so I would recommend keeping it on. Next, let's go into the camera. Under the camera, let's switch to video real quick. Under video, you're gonna see you can change the resolution. Press this little drop down right here. It'll be set to FHD. I would set it to 4K. 30, if you do it to 30 frames, you're still gonna be able to do HDR if you want and speech enhancement, because if you turn it on to 60, it will turn those block those features out basically. So I would set it to 4K 30 if I were you. And once you do that, it'll also change it to 4K for the front camera as well. Switch to the front camera real quick just to show you. And you can see it's set to 4K 30. Next, go into camera and click the drop down. You can change this to 16:9 or 4:3 aspect ratio. You can do that for both cameras if you want. You have your timer if you want to switch between an auto timer or a certain timer so it delays the photo. Top shot is when it's on, Pixel includes a short video to capture more of the moment. So if you keep that on right there, it'll do that. You can have set to automatic or on or completely off. Face retouching, I keep it off, basically it smooths out your face. Night sight, you can set it to automatic. It should already be set to automatic, and I would definitely recommend setting it to automatic on there. While you're in here, you can go to more settings. Camera sounds, I turn those off. I don't want to hear it when I take a picture of anything. Gestures, you can use the volume key action to use as a shutter button if you want, or you can use it, so basically when you press it up or down, it'll take a picture. Or you can set it so it zooms in or out, or the volume, or just keep it off if you touch that button. Double tap action, you can double tap it, double tap the screen to zoom in or to switch cameras or to turn it off. I'm gonna do it to switch the cameras. Going back to the main screen of the camera, down below here is gonna be where you can switch between all your different modes. You get your night sight, you got your motion photos, you have, and actually when you go to motion, you can actually do long exposures, or you can set it to action pan. You have your portrait mode, which will blur out the background. You get video. Cinematic mode only works on the back cameras, and it's going to blur out the background of whatever's in focus. You can tap on a subject to focus in on it, depending upon how it is. So you have that ability as well. You can go into modes, and you have some other ones here as well, such as lens and photosphere and panorama. If you want to switch between the different lenses, they're right here. And one of the cool things is if you zoom in all the way like that, you can go to 20x video, or if you go into camera, you can go into 30x. But a cool thing is, even though you're in 30x, you saw video only goes to 20x. You can still actually do 30x video. So I'm on 30x, and I'm going to press and hold the shutter button, and now I'm doing a 30x video. So that's how you would do 30x or 20x, depending upon what you want to do. Next up, swipe down from the top, go into the gear at the bottom here, and we're going to go into settings. You can see we're going to go into network and internet. Go into internet and go down to network preferences, and notify for public networks, turn that off, and turn on Wi-Fi automatically. I would turn that on. That's going to, any high quality saved Wi-Fi networks, it'll automatically connect to those. It's a very good thing. I would definitely recommend doing that. Next, under settings, go into notifications, go into notification history. If you turn this on, this is going to show you any notifications that you've had recently. So if you swiped one away, you can come in here and it will show you a list of it. Any that your recent or snooze notifications will appear here. So it's a good way to find a missing notification. Next, under settings, go to apps, go into default apps. This is where you can change some of your default apps. If you want a different browser app as your default, or a different caller ID, or a different digital assistant, you can come in here and change all of those things right in here. Under settings, go to battery, go into battery percentage, and now you can see your battery percentage at the top there instead of seeing just a little bar. If you want to charge things on the back of your phone, you'll see battery share. If you turn that on, it tells you just place something on the back there and it will charge your battery. Settings, sound and vibration. This is where you can change all your volumes right here. You can also do it when you press on these too. If you press down, you can hit this 3 dots and it'll bring the volumes up as well. We'll go into settings because we were just there. Do not disturb is a good one. You can turn that on, and that will basically block out your notifications and not bug you when you're busy. Your phone ringtone, you can change it to different ones right here, really simply. Live caption, if you want to automatically capture what's going on, to have it, no matter basically what it is, from a phone call to videos and all that stuff, you can turn that on and it'll show a caption of whatever audio is playing for you. Now playing, this is a cool one. I would turn this on. It's basically going to identify nearby songs that are playing near you that it can hear on the phone. So it's a very cool thing that allows you to do that. And it'll show on your lock screen when you're basically right here. It'll show like, hey, this song's playing at the bottom here, and it'll tell you what song it is. Under sounds and vibrations, I turn all these things at the bottom off. Dial tones, screen locking, charging sounds, touch sounds, always show icon when vibrating. I always turn those things off. Vibrations and haptics, if you don't like those, you can turn them off. I'm not a huge fan of them, so I turn them off. But ultimately, you can turn them on and, you know, change the dynamics of how much they vibrate the phone and all that down here. Next, under settings, go into display. This is where you can control your brightness. You can also change it and control it right here. Your adaptive brightness, I usually have it turned on. I have it turned off for this video, but that's good to have it on. It'll adjust the brightness based off the lighting that's you're in front of. If it's a dark room, it's gonna be really dim. If it's a bright outside, it'll turn it all the way up. Lock screen, this is where you can show all your notifications or show basically nothing, or if you can add a text here and be like, hey, if you found my phone, call this number. It's a good thing to add there. It'll add that message to your lock screen. You can show your wallet, show device controls. Now playing, we already chose. Always show time and info. Tap to check phone, so you can tap on your screen. I'd turn that on. Lift to check phone, I would turn that on as well. It wakes the screen up when you do those things. Wake screen for notifications. When screen is dark, it turns on for new notifications. So if you're coming from an iPhone, you might be used to that. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably turn that off. Screen timeout, set that to 2 minutes. You also have screen attention, prevents your screen from turning off while you're looking at it. Turn that on. Basically uses the camera. When it sees your eyes, it'll keep the screen on so that your screen just doesn't turn off. We have the dark theme. I like having that on all the time. I have it turned off for this video, but ultimately I do turn it on. You can also set a schedule for sunrise to sunset, or turn on at certain times and turn off at certain times. Colors, I usually have it set to adaptive, but if you like a more muted look, you can choose natural. Screen resolution, by default, it's set to 1080p Full HD Plus. I set it to the full resolution. This is the phone's basically, I want it to be the best it can be in terms of everything. So I'm gonna make the display resolution the highest it can be. Back under display settings, smooth display, it should be turned on, but turn it on. It gives you that ultra smooth, fast feeling for your phone. Screen protector mode, increases touch sensitivity and improves touch when using a touch protector. So if you have a screen protector on, definitely turn that on. Next, under settings, go into security. This is where you can turn some things on. Find my device, this is a good one. That way you can find your device basically anywhere it is. Screen lock is where you can change your screen lock pattern or PIN code. Face and fingerprint unlock come in here. And when you're in here, you can set up your face unlock or add another fingerprint, or set up your fingerprint for the first time. Unlock your phone using face or fingerprint, or you can turn that off. Verify it's you in apps by using the fingerprint. Next, under settings, go to system. If you want to change your keyboard, go into languages and input, and you can come into on-screen keyboard and change it. If you downloaded another one, that's where you would change it. Also, within gestures, under system, quickly tap to start actions. So you can tap the back. If you turn this on, you can choose between it doing different things. This might be a bit of a thing that bothers you, I should say. So basically, when I'm gonna double tap the back of the screen, it turns the light on. You might do that accidentally, so just be aware if you do have that on, that's why it's doing that. Flip the camera for a selfie. To switch in and out of selfie mode in Google Camera, double twist. This is a bit much, but basically when you have the camera open, you can switch between your different modes on your camera. It's not a game changer, a little bit too much, I think. Tap to check phone on, lift to choke on, we kind of looked at that. Flip to shush if you want that. Basically what that does is turn on do not disturb when you place your phone flat down. It will turn that on, but sometimes I just do that and I don't want it to stop ringing or something. So I wouldn't bother with that. System navigation, if you want the traditional buttons at the bottom there, you can do that. You can also, when you press your home button, bring up your assistant. I like the gestures on the smaller phones like these candy bar phones. So it's very, very nice. You can also, when you do use gesture navigation, you can swipe to invoke your assistant, swipe up from the bottom corner to invoke, and we do it from the bottom corner, that'll bring up your assistant for you. Press and hold the power button. You can press and hold it to bring up your assistant. Another way, you can turn that off. Going back into settings and then system update. This is where you check for any updates that you might have to download for your phone. Settings, system, multiple users. If you want to set up multiple users to use your phone, this is where you do it. You just turn that on, and you can add a guest user or a real user, and add users from the lock screen as well. So if you want to share this phone with your kids or somebody else, you're able to do that. Double press your power button, and that will quick launch your camera. It does that from any screen. Your screen can be off, and you double press it, and it'll launch your camera. Next, go into Google Photos, find a blurry photo, and go into Edit. If the photo is blurry, you'll see Unblur right here. You tap Unblur, and it should do its job. This is already a purposefully blurry photo, so it's not gonna really do much of anything, but it should give you the option of alleviating it or intensifying that unblur effect on there. So there you guys go. That is the new Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. First 50 things to do. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.